Hi folks, welcome to part 2 of my Christmas gift guide, The Books. To see my non-book but bookish related Christmas gift guide, see the cards or down below. But without further ado, here are the books. And we're going to start with the picture books because I love children's picture books and they're a lot of fun. Being an illustrator, I appreciate them. So for the child in your life, or adult who loves beautiful things, this is Sandra Dykman's The Dog That Ate the World, and this is a very simple story about a dog who keeps eating things until there's nothing left. But her illustration style is so complex and there's just so much going on, all the detail and all the colour, and I love it. So I'd recommend that for a child who likes lots of colour and fun and a simple story. Then we've got Puffin the Architect by a fellow New Zealand author and illustrator, Kimberly Andrews. And this is about a puffin. She is an architect and each page has got a different project that they work on, that she works on, and little Puffin goes along. So there's a lot to see in each of these illustrations. This is one of my favourites because it's in a library and you've got a hound who is dressed up like Sherlock Holmes, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, just all the little details and the architectural references are really neat, and this book is a lot of fun and great to see a female architect in a children's book. That's quite unusual. Then we've got So Many Sounds by Tim McKenna, and this is illustrated by Andy J. Miller, who you may have heard me reference in the previous video. He is the guy who does the Creative Pep Talk. And I love his illustration style. It's very, very different to mine, but I just find it so fun and colourful, and that's basically what this book is. Good for quite young children. It's simple, not that many words, beautiful illustrations obviously, but it's great to read out loud because you've got sections like this, which goes whispers, giggles, shouts and slurps, munching, crunching, gulps and burps, which is pretty fun if you're a kid, and it's pretty fun as an adult to read out loud. But again, something quite different. There's this one here, which is just beautiful. It's Whale in a Fishbowl, and this has got a really kind of mid-century feel to the illustrations. It's quite flat looking, but there's quite a bit of texture in there. I just love the colour palette used in this, and I was a bit obsessed with whales as a child, so just a bit. I had them all over my bedroom. So this is gorgeous, and for the budding marine biologist in your life, definitely recommend that one. And then for anybody who loves books, I mean, you probably already know about this book, but it needs mentioning again. It's Franklin and Luna Go to the Moon by Jen Campbell and illustrated by Katie Harnett. And this is a further adventure of Franklin and Luna, the first one being Franklin's Flying Bookshop. This is a delightful story, lots of bookish references, and I just love Katie's interpretation of Franklin. Again, the texture she uses and the colours and just the whimsy in her illustrations. So that one is also just lovely. And look at the lemon yellow end papers. I know it's just plain, but really effective. And then there is my own picture book, Moth, which came out earlier this year. This is about a moth who is scared of the light because of all the other moths that flock around the light, and she doesn't like crowds and loud noises, so she sets off into the forest to find a friend, and this is about the different characters she meets along the way. The idea of this is that it's kind of about social anxiety and introversion, but in a safe way for kids, and it's all in black and white and greys. You've got these white borders. That's kind of the style. So that is available on my website, and all of these will be linked down below. That's it for the children's picture books. I'm now going to move on to some illustrated feminist books, because these are some of my favourite books. So we've got What Would Boudica Do? This is Everyday Problems Solved by History's Most Remarkable Women. And we have people like Frida Kahlo. I'm not going to be able to find Frida Kahlo now, but it's amazing. And basically you have an illustration at the beginning, and then something like finding your style, or just dealing with the defying FOMO, but from Emily Dickinson. So, you know, just things that are contemporary issues that have always been issues, and they're solved by yeah, historical awesome women. And speaking of awesome women, there's this book here, which I mentioned in a previous wrap-up. This is kind of a book of poetry about various different women. So it's along the lines of you know, the Rebel Girls books and things like that. So each one has a title page, and then a portrait of the writer, because these are all poets or novelists or playwrights, and yeah, then a bit of a poem about the author, and then a bit of a blurb about them, and recommended reading. So this has got lots of authors you're probably familiar with. You've got Angela Carter, you've got Toni Morrison, and then lots that I wasn't familiar with, and it's a great place to start to find other authors that you maybe haven't come across from a diverse range of backgrounds. Then we've got, along similar lines, Legendary Ladies. This is by Anne Shen, who is an illustrator who just draws really cute, yeah, really cute faces, and she's got such a range of different characters in here. So this is 50 goddesses to empower and inspire you. So not really characters, but so you've got people from, you know, goddesses from Greek mythology, from Chinese mythology, Hindu mythology. There's Hecate, and again, great range of different backgrounds and religions in this. I think if you're interested in mythologies of different types, this is fantastic. But then for the geek girl in your life, there's the Secret Loves of Geek Girls. This is an anthology full of feminism and intersectionality, and this is amazing. So it's all along the theme of love and how that relates to geek culture, and sort of falling in love with fictional characters and all the very relatable things. Lots of essays in here and stories, but also comics. There's a story from Margaret Atwood at the beginning. There's one from Meigs Fitzgerald, who did another graphic novel that I really like. Yeah, so, and growing up in the 80s and 90s as well, so that seems to be a common theme throughout. So if you're a millennial and a bit of a geek, you're gonna love that. And I'm sure any friend you gift that to will be very appreciative. Then we've got Check Please, which started out as a webcomic, and this just, oh, it's so good. It is about this guy here who's called Bitty, and he is gay and the new guy at this college, and he plays hockey, and he falls in love with another one of the hockey players, and it's beautifully done. The whole, I mean, I love her illustration style, her comic style. All the characters look really adorable, and she's great with conveying the different emotions. It's got a diverse range of characters. It's got a lot of hockey, and it's set at this university, at this college. So it's got that kind of academic feel to it, but lots of hockey, so much hockey, and I am not interested in hockey really at all, but I love this. So if you have a hockey player in your life, or a just somebody who appreciates graphic novels and diversity in their graphic novels, then this is just fantastic. Okay. Then for the animal lover in your life, there is How to Be a Good Creature by Cy Montgomery. This is a memoir in 13 animals. It's a series of essays about different animals that have influenced Cy Montgomery's life. And I've read some of it. It's really good, beautifully written, really insightful. And the illustrations are gorgeous too. So just lots of illustrated pages throughout. So what about a Christmas weasel? There's a tiny weasel there. So the whole thing is beautifully produced, and that makes it a really lovely gift. It's got deckled edges as well, which I know a bit of an iffy topic, but you know, they make it look pretty. Then we've got 2 fairy tale collections. This one here being Tangleweed and Brine by Deirdre Solomon. This is illustrated by Karen Vaughan, and it's I love the illustrations. Yeah, so you probably guessed from that, that's the Little Mermaid. And what I liked about these, I've read this collection, and what I liked about them is that you can't immediately tell what the stories are. They're kind of taken from moments in the fairy tales slightly outside of the story itself, or the traditional story, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I love the writing in these as well. It's very poetic, and obviously a beautiful book as well, which I think is quite important when you're giving people presents. As is this one here. This is White as Milk, Red as Blood, and these are rediscovered fairy tales from a contemporary of the Brothers Grimm. This has got a foreword from Philip Pullman, and the reason I've included this mostly is because it's such a beautiful object. It's a real gift kind of book. You've got gold on the front, and the whole thing is just stunning. That's those are the end papers. You've got a metallic ink there. It's got a bit of a shimmer to it, and throughout it is illustrated. So in these gorgeous colours as well, and often quite abstract. Yeah, sometimes quite terrifying as well. And I think this would make a great gift for somebody who really likes fairy tales and dark fairy tales. I can think of a few people I know who would really, really like this book. All right. Oh, Philip Pullman pops up again. This is Philip Pullman's book. This is a book of essays called Demon Voices. I have read this and loved it. They're all on the theme of storytelling, but storytelling in so many different ways. You've got storytelling in terms of paintings, so there's some art criticism in here. You've got storytelling from the point of view of a storyteller, and then you've got essays on other people's stories. This collection comes from a range of different places. Some are introductions to books, some are talks that he's done at various institutions, some were written for places like The Guardian. Yeah, there's a real range, and what I quite like about it as well is there is a topic finder at the beginning. So if you're interested in finding essays on, say, his dark materials or on folk tales and fairy tales, and you can look and see which ones are relevant to that topic. So that's really lovely. So a good gift for anyone who is a writer, and anyone who enjoys stories, really. It's a pretty broad-ranging umbrella of people who would enjoy that. Then we've got The Secret Garden, and I'm showing you this one because it's the most recent, but this is one of 5 stories like this, or books like this, done by Mina Lima, who are the design duo behind the Harry Potter films and of course now the Fantastic Beasts films, and they have done this series of interactive classics and fairy tales. So there's The Secret Garden, there's Beauty and the Beast, The Jungle Book, Peter Pan and The Little Mermaid, all of which have these amazing interactive aspects. So you can see there, the snake comes out of there. You've got flaps and things that fold out, things that, and they've got these bits of card in just to protect them, but things that go around, and yeah, all sorts of things. There was something that folded out as well. Oh yes, there's a letter there that folds out too. I won't do it now because I won't be able to get it back in again. But this is a great gift for maybe an older child. I mean, The Secret Garden isn't really a young children's book anyway, but yeah, somebody who's going to be really careful with it, and yeah, just be gentle with all these very delicate parts. So I wouldn't give this to a very young child, but yeah, to an adult as well who loves any of these classics. And like I said, there's a range of them, so this is just one example. All right, I've got 2 more books, and I've left the best till last. We've got Bibliophile, which is just the perfect present for any book lover, I think. It's illustrated and written by Jane Mount, and yeah, it's like it says, it's an illustrated miscellany of stuff, bookish stuff. So there's not a great deal of rhyme or reason to it in some ways, but you've got different sections on iconic covers and different types of books. There's a collection of feminist books, fantasy, sci-fi, novels of the 21st century, The Shrinking World. So it's got a lot of history in here as well as contemporary stuff. So, you know, I could go through this and go, oh yeah, I've got that book on my shelf or that book on my shelf, which is really fun to do. And I think I can just imagine somebody opening this on Christmas Day and spending a very long time just going over all the different books, and it would make a great coffee table book too. Yeah, I've got a collection of essays there. It's just so colourful and well done and comprehensive. There's so much in here, and yeah, hours and hours of fun in there. Okay, finally we've got this one here, which I bought recently and haven't had a chance to have a really good look at yet, but I'm so looking forward to doing that. It's The Writer's Map, and this is an atlas of imaginary lands. So you've got everything in here, from the Marauder's Map to Tolkien to all sorts of other, often fantasy worlds. That's kind of the nature of it, because it's a, you know, imaginary lands. And there's a bit about how these were created. Some of them are really old, and this book is not very easy to hold up, but yeah, Middle Earth Map Maker. Just flip through so you can see just the range of different styles in this. Oh look, it's Narnia. Yeah, this would be great for people who like fantasy or who write fantasy. I mean, presumably if you write fantasy, you also like it. But certainly, yeah, if you have any illustrators in your life, or yeah, fantasy readers, then and are prepared to spend a little bit more money. This is a sort of £30 book, but yeah, well worth it for the seeing the joy and delight on somebody's face when they open this and have a look through it. Just beautiful. Anyway, those are the books that I recommend and think would make lovely presents. If you have any difficult people to buy for in your life and you want to buy them a book, let me know down in the comments, and I might be able to help out. I worked as a bookseller for a couple of years, so I do like recommending people things, and yeah, I like a bit of a challenge, so let's see if I can help you out. If you want to enter my giveaway, it's still open on my previous video. It'll be closing soon, but you know, there's probably still time if you're watching this, hopefully. And yeah, so you can go in to enter. You can enter to win one of my novel notebooks, and it's open internationally. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your Christmas or holiday shopping, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!